Welcome to another amazing episode of comparing kayaks with Aliex. Right here we got the Vive Makana 100 and we're gonna compare it to the Old Town 106 PDL. Why? Because they're about the same length, 10 feet, and then maybe one is fatter than the other one, but hey, you know, the kayaker they have in mind for these two kayaks are basically the same person. So let's go ahead and let me get behind the camera and give you a full comparison walkthrough of these two boats, and I'm gonna throw in my 2 cents here and there, give you my own opinions about what I think about them and why one may be better for you and for certain things than the other. Let me start by saying how I got these two kayaks. This one right here, the 106 PDL, Old Town sent it over to make videos for you guys, and this one right here is not mine, but I may get a free one. How I got the kayak doesn't really matter. I'm gonna tell you what I think about them, and if I'm right or wrong, well, you know, whatever. So it's not based on, oh, you know, they gave it to you for free, so you're gonna say good things about it. No, we're past that. Like, I've never been like that. So it's like I have to say it on every video because I always get new people in, and of course, and people that don't believe me. But anyways, so these two kayaks, the main difference between them, and you're looking at it right now, is the drive system. You got a prop drive system here that you go instantly go in reverse, but it's much heavier, cumbersome, and not as easy to transport as this one here that doesn't go in reverse, but you can flip it and go in reverse. But that's the main thing, the main difference in terms of type of kayak. But there's a huge difference in price, and I'm gonna get to it why such a difference in price. Let's start right here in the rear of the boat. Look at this. They look kind of similar, right? Like that Vive Makana has a moldering handle. The 106 PDL also have the same thing. You have a handle right here in the rear, but then the rudder here on the 106 is a handle as well. You get that sacrificial skip plate right there. That's cool. So far we have a lot of similar things. Another thing that is similar on this boat is that those rudders, they made this boat turn on the dime basically, but there's more. Look, you got rear shallow anchor plate system. See, shallow water anchor mount. Now the difference on the 100 from Vive is that you got two, and I always ask Old Town, why not do the second one? I mean, you're already doing one, why not add the second one? Something that the Old Town is gonna win here is how you set up the rudder, because you got this thing that it cruises in, so it's gonna be a perfect connection. You're gonna be able to set this up the way you need to, the cables precisely tightened to the precise tension that they need. Over here, well, you kind of like have to like pull this thing, and this being a cable, not metal, it's gonna stretch, so you may have to adjust this. A lot of time what I see some people do is just put a screw through it and it's gonna hold it in place. So that's one of the things that the Old Town rudder system has over the Makana, is just the way that it's set up. Oh, now here's the thing, this being just a rope is not gonna get destroyed in salt water. This over here, you may have to replace these cables because they're gonna rust over time. I guess we call this a draw right here, now that I'm doing a competition. If we move forward, you see the tank well. Look at the tank well. Here on the Makana, you could put a cooler, a black pack, you could do the same here, but clearly you have more space. And let me remove the strap from my fancy Malone card right there that you see there. By the way guys, everything that has an affiliate link or is on sale, I'm gonna put it down below in the description. Again, affiliate links, if you buy it through there, we may get a little commission. So you can see that the 106 is a larger boat. It's 6 inches longer, so you have a little more space right here in the tank well as you do here on the Makana 100. But being smaller, the Makana is gonna be lighter. It's only 77 pounds fully loaded versus 106 pounds over here. I mean, just the drive here on the Old Town 106 PDLs is 18 pounds. The drive and the seat here is basically 11 pounds. So the seat and the drive on the Makana weigh less than just the drive from the Old Town. The Old Town seat is 6 pounds. You have two flush mounted rod holders over here on the Makana and on the Old Town. And I want you to appreciate something here. See how flush the rod holders are on the Makana compared to the one on the Old Town? Man, see, they thought about the design of this boat and they incorporate a lot of stuff that are seamless. Here, I mean, it's a trusted design, it's gonna work. Boom. But that's cool. Now another win for the Makana here. See, you see this here? You got gear tracks in the rear. Old Town doesn't offer that. And let me tell you something, having gear tracks in the rear of the boat or on the tank well are very useful, and that's something I wish Old Town would add. Gear tracks right here. You could add your own. You have plenty of deck space right here to add, gunner space I should say, to add whatever gear tracks you want. But that will be an aftermarket. A lot of people like myself don't like drilling into stuff, even though of course you gotta drill in order to put the tracks. But you know, if it comes from the factory like this, look at this, it's flush, it's not out, you're not gonna get fishing lines caught up here, although you may get it caught up here, but you know what I'm saying. It's nice. If you do the gear tracks here, they're gonna be on top and all that stuff. Moving forward, a win for the 106, it has an extra rod holder, which is very useful when you're changing lures, when you need to put the rod somewhere quick so you could land the fish or whatever you need to. It has that. Here in the Makana, it doesn't have that. Now going forward, and we're gonna touch on the seat later, but look at this. You have the deck space. You got gear tracks in the front, and you also got gear tracks right there on the 106 PDL. The seats, both seats are very, very comfortable, I should say. This fabric is nice. If I had to pick one in terms of comfort level, the Old Town one is gonna win for sure. And another thing that you have with the Old Town seat is that you have underneath storage. You see that? Cool. You don't have this here with the Makana. Accessory wise, you could put the perch here on top, and that's an extra sitting position that you're not gonna get with the Old Town. But this Old Town Sportsman seat is very comfy. It's a premium seat. They're gonna last you a long time, both of them actually. So if we keep going, you got an access point right here that you could use for whatever. I mean, maybe you want to put install plates or things right here at the back. You got access to inside the boat there. Maybe you want to put a battery, and then you have the rudder control system. Here, Old Town has a little tension there, and Vibe also sort of have the same thing. The win for the Vibe here, the Makana 100, is that this rudder you can put it on the right, while the Old Town you're stuck on the left. Paddle holders, paddle keeper, you get one from Old Town. Here you got two, right? So I see a pattern here. I see a boat that was designed long ago and it works, but it's getting older. I think the 106 PDL needs a refresh design. Not to say there's nothing wrong with this boat. I love this boat. I will put anyone, like if actually as a matter of fact you say, Ali, here's a new kayakers, where will you put that person? I will put it on the 106 PDL. Why? Because it is more stable, I would say, than the Makana. And Makana is very stable, by the way. But that drive over there makes a difference. This drive, they break, things break. The flipper breaks, things like that break. Like if you put a Nuva here, they never take it out. They may break this drive more often than they do this one. They may not, they do, because I've seen it. I have experienced it, and it's more of a like intuitive thing. It's just like a bike, right? I'm not poo-pooing on any of the boats. You can see that there's a lot of stuff going for the Makana, and there's a lot of stuff going for the 106 PDL, but I'm gonna tell you what I think, what I have experienced, both positive and negative. For me, new person off the street, like I just get someone who never seen a kayak in their life, I'm gonna put it on the 106 PDL, because again, I feel like it's a little more stable. That initial stability is there, the secondary stability is there, and the drive, just like a bike, they will know how to use it right away. And here they will need more training. It doesn't take long, maybe 30 seconds longer, but they may break something. Like definitely something is gonna break. And that's not to say that it's the drive, because the Hobie drive, all these things that I'm telling you are experiences that I have with my Outback, a Hobie product. Okay, you can see here that you got handles in the middle on each side, and you have the same here on the Makana. In terms of comfort holding, I will have to give it to Vibe. I think this is more comfortable because I have the rubber thing in here and over here. Now in terms of like being able to move the seat all the way forward and back, I think the 106 PDL wins in here. Even though you have just a flat sitting position, you're able to bring the seat very close to the drive, so even a small child will have no issues pedaling this boat. Over here that's it. You cannot get any closer. You're gonna have to change the settings on the drive, and it gets to a point that if you put it right here on one, it's not as nice as if it was in the middle. That is definitely a win here for the 106 PDL if you need to get closer. If you're a big person, then you don't have any problem. You may be better off with the different styles that you have here. You have the recliner type of thing, and then you have the high sitting position. Over here there's just one position. You can see how the drive well is set up. Over here on the Makana, you could swap that out. You could take this out and put a flat deck surface. Like if you're just gonna paddle, you're not gonna take a drive, maybe you want to do that. If you just wanna put a bisbee on the back and you're gonna motorize the boat and you don't want to use the drive, you could do that, and you have a flat deck, especially if you're fly fishing or you like to stand up a lot. So that's a win here. Over here, that's it. This is what you get. You're not able to change it. It is what it is. You got that giant hole that a lot of people don't like, but I don't have any problem with, because you're gonna get wet anyways, and the drive is very fast, right? So you got two pockets there. You're not gonna be able to put a full-size tackle box, but hey, that's fine. You can put it underneath. Over here on the Makana, you got two decent size area where you could put normal size tackle box. Something that the Makana has that is really nice is that you got dual cup holders, and one of those dual cup holders is actually where the transducer is gonna go through. You can put the cable through, and it has a little thing here to kind of like mold in that cable depending where you're gonna take it. I'm assuming you're gonna take it over here, but it's also protected underneath. And I'm gonna flip the boat over soon so you see that, because the one that we have here, the 106 PDL, also have transducer protection solution. You got one cup holder here, which is huge, and that's all you have. On the other side you have the rotor control, and again here you got two. Now depending how big your drink is, the 106 PDL may be a better cup holder, but hey, you know. So going forward, in the front you have a nice decent size hatch. And I normally don't like hatches like this in the front, but that hatch is very well done. It's super waterproof. Like, you're gonna flip this boat and not a lot of water is gonna go through it, because this thing is very well made. I mean, you could see all the waterproofing that it has, so that's cool, man. But again, I'm a fan of like sort of open deck type of designs where it's sort of flat, and I could put a cooler, or I could put whatever I want in there. Looking here at the Vive, you have this nice cover that you could put your paddle in here when you're not using it, or you could remove this cover completely if you don't want it. And underneath you have access to inside the boat to the boat yeah, to the inside the boat. In terms of handles, this right here, you got the handle thing, and over here the handle is kind of like in the boat a little bit. But what I like about this handle here is that underneath you got inserts, 1/4 inch inserts, and I'm gonna build a plate here to put a motor on it, and a trolling motor. And again, even though the Katana is very stable, still a 10-foot boat, it still digs in when you're up here. So I think if you're gonna put a trolling motor right here in the front, that's like gonna be like too much weight, and it's gonna be underwater, and you may mess up a trolling motor. But here on the 106 PDL, it stays above the water more. We're gonna touch on the drive at the end of this video, so don't skip to the end, because I'm gonna flip it over right now, and I'm gonna go over the bottom hull of this boat, and then we're gonna talk about the plus and minuses of each drive. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's bring the rudder down. I'm gonna put it on the side. Oh boy, it's gonna be hard to film this video like this. But I mean, you can see, right? This giant W hole there, those giant cavity. Look how thick this 106 PDL is compared to the Makana. Like the walls, boom. You see all those little different designs. This boxy design, that means it's gonna be more stable than this boat right here. The walls are higher. It's gonna take longer. It's gonna take a lot more for the water to actually come in the boat and flip you. Again, that doesn't mean this boat is not stable. You could watch the full stability test video. It is stable, but this one is more stable. And just to make it quick here, you see, this is what I was talking about. The transducer will go there, and there's pretty much, you can put any size transducer there pretty much for the most part. You'll probably make it work. The cavity is huge. And over here where the Makana is, this cavity is also big. Anyways, always look at the transducer side and compare it to what your boat could actually take. Reach out to the manufacturer, find out exactly what will work, because I mean, they do. I don't have every transducer in the market, I don't know, right? So look at this, very similar type of design in terms of those, what do you call that, like those lines that you see there. And you have the same idea here, although the keel on the 106 doesn't go all the way like it does here in the Makana, which is pretty much the length of the boat. Over here you can see that it's kind of like boom. Now in terms of speeds, it's a 10-foot boat. I mean, you could hit 5 miles an hour on them if you push it really hard. You could be cruising at 2.5 to 3.5 miles an hour on the boats, but you're not gonna win any race with them. I've been on the water with this boat while other people had 136 big water, and it's a struggle. It's a struggle because they are 10-foot boats. You don't buy any of these two boats if you're gonna be fishing offshore all the time. Maybe if you put a motor on it, well, that might change things, but like, you're not gonna be able to keep up with your friends. Let's put it that way. So what boat is better for you? I think that's something you have to answer yourself, because there are some things that each of them have going for them. For example, the Makana only weighs 77 pounds with the drive and everything. The 106 PDL is 106 pounds. If you don't want to carry a lot of weight, even if you get more stability, maybe you don't want to go for the 106, it's too heavy for you. Or maybe you want to do extra stuff, like you want to be more confident in the water, maybe you want to put a motor in the front, like whatever you want to do, maybe the 106 will work for you because it's bigger. The other thing is that the 106 PDL from Old Town, being bigger, it's gonna be able to carry more pounds, about 50 pounds more than you get with the Vibe. Another major deciding factor when it comes to buying a kayak is basically how much you want to spend. The Katana with the drive is $1,600. Well, this over here is around $2,500. It's a big difference in price. With that savings, you could do a lot. You could buy a lot of accessories that you need and things like that. Now, something that a lot of you are going to say is that, well, one is made in the US and the other is not. The Katana is not made in the US. It's designed just like an Apple iPhone. Not in California, but it's designed in the US and it's assembled in China. But your iPhone, the phone that you're using to watch this video right now, or even your computer, is not made here in the US. It's not fair to say just buy a US made kayak because it's made in the US. It's a plus, of course, because we want to support our local employers, but it's still, I mean, you're using a phone right now that it was not made here. So make of that whatever you will. The 106 PDL is made in Old Town, which is great, and I love it. I've been there. It's a nice place, and they put a lot of love into these boats. So this is something that is well thought out, is well made, and it's totally worth the price tag. Again, it may not be the right boat for you. Here, I think Vibe is trying, and I think they did a great job with this boat. Like, this is a boat that I will happily buy and use. I do recommend it because of the price and what you get out of it. But if budget is not stopping you, you can spend whatever money you want. I feel like the 106 will give you more. But at the same time, looking at it, I think it's due for a major upgrade, redesign. I think a lot of boats from the Old Town line, they're due for major upgrades, redesigns. But you could say that about the iPhone, right? And I keep going back to the iPhone. Like, Apple could do so many things to the iPhone to just make it feel like up to date, but they won't do it. Why? Because whatever they have going on works for a lot of people, and why change it if it works for a lot of people? The 120 PDL from Old Town is probably the best seller that they have because it's a bigger boat, but if you have something that is bringing you happiness to your customer, why change it, right? Although I do want things to be upgraded, and maybe they'll do it in 5 years. Now, I said that I was gonna talk about the drive, and I think I should do a very in-depth videos covering pretty much all the drives that you have in the market today, from these drives that were used with the hobby patterns back in the day and the prop drives over here. My own personal opinion, and this is probably true for 10% of you, is that the pro drive for me are way better because they're easier on my legs. Like I could spend 2 days pedaling this thing and I could spend an hour pedaling this because it's just easier for me. But a lot of people claimed the opposite, that this is easier on their legs than this. Now in terms of speed, you're gonna get a faster drive right here, a more efficient drive right here, and it's because of the technology. If you compare this drive to a hobby drive, then there's different things, that the speed, the technology is up to par, but this is using old technology. The other thing with this drive is that just be mindful that it's gonna break. You may have to replace the fence, you may have to replace the chains right here, but that's normal and that happens to everything, even the hobby drive. Over here in the prop drive, you're definitely gonna have to replace the props of the shear pit. The good thing about this drive, of course, is that it's pretty much weightless, and you could use it on really shallow water, although sometimes it's better just to pull the paddle, but you could use it. And if you take it slow through the grass, depending on the grass condition, most likely you're gonna be able to get out of there and just keep pedaling like nothing. While this drive, you're probably gonna have to open it up, remove whatever's got stuck on the prop, and then go back on it. If you go through a shallow area, it's not like you could just put this drive like this and keep going. You're gonna have to pull this one up. But the main thing that the pro drives totally destroy, even the 180 drive from hobbies in this, is that you could go instantly in reverse. By instant, I mean like you could just go in reverse, but there's always a delay. Like try yourself, you go forward and then you go in reverse. Physics, that you don't instantly go in reverse. The boat has to stop and then gain speed in reverse. Here, if you want to do that, you're gonna have to move the drive, take the drive out, flip it, put it back in, and instantly pedal in reverse, which if you train yourself, you could do. So I don't think the lack of instant reverse on this drive is a killer. If you train yourself and your boat allows it, like this one, you're gonna be able to just swap it, flip it, and get out of the way. Like, when do you really need that reverse? Always, I guess, because you want to be fishing a spot. But that's why you have anchoring solutions. That's why maybe you want to put a trolling motor on a kayak. Now I'm gonna do a full in-depth video comparing all these drives, and that is gonna be coming soon. I'm gonna get pretty much all the drives that I have in my garage, and I'm gonna compare it for you guys. Now there's more videos coming up, especially with the 106 PDL and the 120 PDL in this channel, and of course the Makana. Hopefully we get one for, you know, to make more videos. But always expect from me what I believe to be the truth. That's my truth. It's not influenced by who gave me what for free. Like a lot of times, like I don't care. I keep reaching out to companies for kayaks because I need to keep doing content for you guys. But it's not like, oh my god, I'm gonna freak out. No, it's more like, damn, I got more work to do. But it's a job that I love, so I'm not gonna stop. I mean, if you're watching this and you're one of those companies, send me kayaks, because it's giving me more work. I'd rather have the problem of, oh, I have too many kayaks to make videos of, than have, oh, I don't even have a kayak to make video of. You know what I mean? So, yeah.